What is popping, everybody? What is genuinely and honestly good? It is your girl, Miss Sweet Baby Jazz, and I'm truly disgusted with the filth we're gonna have to discuss today. You've read the title, you've heard the name. Unfortunately, yes, my channel must as well be haunted by none other than P. Diddy. Sean John Combs, also known as Diddy, P. Diddy, Puffy, Puff Daddy, or Brother Love, depending on which split personality you might have been unlucky enough to meet that day, is a 54-year-old rapper, producer, label owner, and serial abuser who has been a mogul in the music industry since he was 18. I should stop right here because I might make some claims in this video, okay? Some claims might be made like the one I just made. Guys, it's all alleged. Don't nobody sue me. I don't have any money, okay? So it's all allegedly, everything is alleged. This is just, we're having fun here. We're having fun. Now, I'm sure you know about the lawsuit, okay? Hopefully, if you can stomach it, you've seen the Cassie video. You know what kind of guy Puff Poppy is. You, me, everyone else with even a tiny little bit of sense, we all know that this man belongs in a prison cell. And likewise, I think it's safe to say that we also know he will probably never see the inside of one, but that doesn't mean we still can do our part. Oh yeah, Diddy. You might not be going to prison, but if I have anything to do about it, you're not gonna have a good time out here either. If you know me personally, or if you've known me for some time, then you know that I have always had it out for Sean John Combs, okay? I was hating that idiot before Cassie ever even met him, and that is all due to one television show and the way that he destroyed what should have been the pop girl group of the 2000s, Making the Band. MTV. Making the Band was a reality TV show that aired on ABC and MTV in the early 2000s. The premise of the show was basically that some prominent industry asshole would fish out a bunch of talented, desperate, barely legals from the musicians of America and make those monkeys dance for a spot in America's next big act. And for some interesting TV. And by interesting, I mean early 2000s reality television kind of interesting.
Possibly. You could possibly, I'm starving too. You know something? I want me a piece of cheesecake. Do you know where to get the cheesecake spot is at? Yeah. And y'all can walk from here, get the cheesecake, see the city, enjoy the sights, would you? Show them around.
This dude must be crazy.
My cheesecake is in the least bit soft or brittle or not on point, we'll go back.
Now, Making the Band actually premiered in 2000, only a year after I was born, so I really grew up watching this. Like, I remember it was a full event in my household. We would all sit around and root for our favorite pawn to get chosen for another week of public humiliation. I was actually surprised to learn that SeanJohn.com was not the massive cash brain behind this existence of a show. The first season of Making the Band was actually created and led by Lou Pearlman, the talent manager known for forming the Backstreet Boys and dying in prison for being a convicted scammer. So, rest in peace, Lou. Now, lots of acts came out of Making the Band, okay? You have O-Town from season 1 when Lou was running the show, and then you have Da Band, Day 26, Donnie Klang, and the stars of the show, and in our hearts, Danity Kane. With a total of 12 seasons and 142 episodes, Making the Band took viewers through the creation of these groups, all the way up until they basically all broke up or parted ways with Diddy at once. But the group I want to focus on today is none other than Danity Kane. Danity Kane consisted of 5 female performers named Dawn Richard, Aubrey O'Day, Shannon Bex, Juanita D. Woods, and my personal favorite, Andrea Fimbres. These young women, all between the ages of 20 to 25, all set out to compete in a series of challenges and prove their worth over 14 other women for a spot in Danity Kane. And let me assure you, only the strongest survived. Let it be, no, it's destiny. I want you to feel that this is real, boy. So the original Danity Kane was formed in 2005 after the conclusion of Making the Band 3 Season 2, and trust me when I say, this win did not come easy for these girls, okay? Diddy was bullying them all the way up until, really all the way up until the very end, and then some.
fabulous, I might add.
You look like you got a wig on, just to be perfectly honest. You got a bootleg wig on.
You gotta see Juanita down. Hand down in the boot. Did Debbie do Dallas?
Juanita, what's your stomach looking like? For real, are you feeling a little sick?
The good news is, it wasn't all for nothing, okay? Diddy meant it when he said,
Y'all are gonna be the sexiest female group to ever live.
and in some people's eyes, some could say he very much achieved that. I would be doing my girls a disservice to do an entire video about Danity Kane and not take the time to glaze, to grovel, to kiss the walked upon creaky floorboards of Danity Kane, okay? Product or not, these girls delivered.
I never, ever seen a girl like me.
I grew up on this music, okay? I have known every word of the song Ecstasy since I was 9 years old, including Rick Ross's verse. This music, this group, they're iconic. And when I get married, should my pockets permit, I will pay literally any amount of money to have these five reunite and do a performance for me and my loved ones. And I'm gonna stand on that. So, Danity Kane's first album dropped on August 22nd, 2006, and that bitch soared, okay? Diddy made his claims, but, I mean, he followed through on that thing. Their very first album on the scene was certified platinum before 2006 was even up, and being followed with a release party in Soho, performances on the news, and at Disney World. I mean, for all intents and purposes, did he deliver on his promise?
Sexiest female group to ever live.
He did. Back in the context of making the band, Danity Kane has popped off with album number 1, and after some touring, the group takes a year off to focus on themselves and their music. But Diddy, well, they say there ain't no rest for the wicked. Making the Band 4, Season 1, centers around the creation of what eventually became 2 new male acts joining the Bad Boy label, Day 26 and Donnie Klang, which arguably both far ahead of their time. Also, it is not lost on me that Diddy made sure all of his associated acts at the time all started with the letter D. What level of narcissism is that? What brand of egomania would you call that? Making the Band 4 Season 2 starts with Danity Kane making their long-awaited return to the city after their time off and meeting the new additions to the Bad Boy label, which produced arguably one of the strangest but also most wholesome scenes I've seen in a long time.
The elevator doors open up and it's Danity Kane and not Diddy. I don't have no idea why they're there.
Danity Kane comes off the elevator. These girls are gorgeous, so I'm trying not to pop up and be like, oh my God, it's Danity Kane. I'm trying to just sit there and look smooth.
Have you guys been having all the honeys on you? Are all the honeys trying to get at you? Someone speak. Someone speak. Donnie.
Aubrey keeps trying to start conversations, but we don't want to cross the line and say the wrong thing. Like, so yeah, the weather's nice. You guys are hot. We don't want to say the wrong thing.
Donnie. So tell us about your crib. Where is it at? Brooklyn? Soho? Manhattan? I don't know if they're shy or maybe they're just intimidated by us.
I can't believe this, bro. Danity Kane was literally so stunning. They were breathtaking that these men could not produce words, bro. They literally forgot how to speak. In this first episode of the season, the rift between Aubrey and Diddy is made very clear to us as an audience.
I gotta be honest, like, there's a chance that you could be holding this group back by some of your actions and you not knowing how serious this thing is. And I ain't gonna let you up my money.
I'll remind you, Diddy picked Aubrey to be in the band at the end of MTV3 Season 2, so at this point we are only 2 seasons and 1 album/tour removed from that. I can't imagine what must have been going on off camera in order to sever their relationship so much. Huh.
Some of your actions, some of your decisions, some of your choices affect the group.
Like what?
Whether it's you decide to turn your eyes green or you decide to get a weave or you got to get that approved on how it's going to affect the rest of the group. The stuff that I seen of you in the press over the last couple of months, I don't think it was beneficial for the group.
But stuff that the press says has nothing to do with me. I have no control over what they say about me. I hang out with my friends, I do what I do, and they choose to take whatever they take from it. You know more than I do that half that stuff is lies.
I'm not liking.
Watching this in 2006 or whatever, when I was a 7-year-old, my instinct was to kind of just be like, oh my god, ew, Diddy's bullying our queen, like get him away from her. But watching it in 2024, I kind of appreciate the actual reality of this clip. Like, it's ugly. He is telling her, for all intents and purposes, that she is his product. So the pretty regular things that she's been doing in her off time, which happen to have gained her press, are, in Diddy's eyes, jeopardizing the image of his product. And I mean, if we're talking about like a new kind of Bratz doll or something inanimate, that line of thinking would be pretty unquestionable, right? But Aubrey is a person. She's an outspoken person, even at that age, and she grew up in a family of lawyers. So I can't imagine how that must have felt hearing that from her boss in real time. Like, oh, hey, sorry, people keep catching you being human outside, so maybe let's kind of try to rein that in for the time being. I think this fundamental misunderstanding between not just Diddy and Aubrey, but Diddy and the entire group was ultimately a big part of their downfall. Diddy saw them as products, but they saw themselves as artists. As the season went on, pretty much all 5 girls expressed their disappointment with how they were being utilized throughout the creation of their new album. They thought that after the success of their first album, and also after hearing this from Diddy...
Do y'all have stuff y'all want to submit for your album?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we need to hear those right away.
They thought they might get to work on some of their own songs that they had written instead of essentially just being told what to sing and how to sing it. Eventually, they built up the courage to confront their producers about this, and after some arguing...
Just forget that we're the one who has to sell the song. We're the one
so
who has to sing the song
Do you really believe
day.
that you'd be better off just recording an entire album on your own with just what you guys like?
Yes.
You know how many artists...
They were able to confront Diddy in person.
I heard that there was some kind of protesting, some objections to some of my trains of thought. Sometimes we're gonna have it out, so we gotta have it out. Let's get busy. Aubrey, you ain't got nothing to say? You got such a big mouth when I'm going. What you gotta say? Say it now.
Aubrey really pisses this man off, bro. Like, he hates her.
I think that we really want to be pop international stars. We want to take over that market. We thought that that was the direction that all of us had talked about, and so we just aren't feeling like that's happening, and we're really confused and frustrated.
That's it? What all y'all have to know is that y'all all are here to play on a team, and if y'all ever played on a team before, you know that there's one coach. You gotta respect it, and if you don't...
We really want to understand your vision for this record, because the songs that we've gotten so far are kind of creating a pattern because they're all like mids and slow.
If I feel something and I want to at least hear your texture on it, that's the play that I'm calling. Go run the play.
I think this clip is so interesting. I mean, the way he sounds calm in the beginning, but is clearly just kind of like seething with anger. And then he interestingly just kind of apologizes.
One thing that I want to do is definitely, apologize to y'all.
Oh, wow. Did you just apologize? Did those words actually just come out of your mouth?
I apologize as a coach, not communicating properly. I respect that y'all have emotions about what y'all want to be, and I definitely apologize to y'all about not making sure that we took the time to sit down to really start the album the right way.
And gives them a seemingly satisfactory explanation for their concerns. I mean, in no way did he compromise or, really cave on any issue that they brought up to him. But, I mean, he at least explained his thought process. To me, this clip shows how well this man is able to bullshit his way out of pretty much any sticky situation he gets himself into. I mean, he needs these girls to keep believing the dream he's selling them. He knows they want to have a say and, they want to feel connected to the music that they're making, and he knows he's not going to give that to them, but he's definitely not going to be direct about that, because then they just want to leave. And with no baddies, there's no Danity. So he put on his best sorry husband act to appeal to their emotions and shut them up for just a little bit longer to get the album recorded. And it worked.
Puff told us he was sorry. Hallelujah.
he actually understood where we were coming from and gave us an answer to what we were looking for. It's a great feeling to know he understands that we want a voice, and the best part is he's actually allowing us to have our voice.
Unfortunately for Diddy, however, the Cloud 9 that he left these girls on did not last for very long. Once the album was recorded and the girls started doing promo, things got heated again, starting with a group-wide makeover.
I'm not trying to have a session where I beat y'all down about your image. First of all, Shannon, let's talk about the choice of hair color change, and is this something you feel you want to stay with?
I really like it. I mean, I love being blonde too, but I like it.
I hate it.
You do?
Yeah. And you, Andrea, you look pleasantly plump hair. I mean, in person, you don't really look like this. So I don't know if it's the way the picture was taken. It's just a lot of hair. It's a lot of fake hair, a lot of fake eyelashes, a lot of makeup. And we'll get to you in a second with that, Aubrey.
All 5 girls took Diddy's advice and received makeovers from him and his team before going into official photo and video shoots for their album. However, one girl in particular she still hadn't done enough.
Puff's going hard on the group, and then all of a sudden he singles me out and starts going on and on about how unhappy he is with me, and I just feel like nothing that I do he's ever happy with.
Can I ask a question? What do you want to look like, though? Do you want to look like a playboy, playmate? Do you want to look like you?
Puff, I'm done with all of that.
No. Like, what do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair, though.
I don't like big hair.
You do like big hair. You like big hair.
Puff,
you like a lot of makeup and all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown
I'm not seeing the flexibility. You gaming me.
And I make an honest assessment.
I don't want you to look like Pamela Anderson. I don't want to sign Pamela.
Well, I want to look like Aubrey.
That's in the direction. Well, you don't look like her. You don't look like that girl that I signed.
You know who Aubrey is. Puff, it's 3 years later.
It's 3 years later, and you're going in the wrong direction.
Okay, well,
you're going in the wrong direction. You need to stop the truck pull over. I'm not changing nothing.
Okay, well, you wanted the weave out, the weave out.
I just want you to look good.
If you're not happy, you hate me, then why you have me here?
I don't have to have you here. That's one thing that we can make clear. That's one thing we can make clear. I don't have to have you here. I'm trying.
Why do you have me here? Because every time it's just such a problem.
I have you here because I feel you talented. But don't get it twisted. I'm starting to think about why do I have you here.
I'm not getting
okay, so you clear on that though. Check this out. You clear on that. You understand now.
Oh wow. Was he gonna hit her? Did you see that?
I'm asking myself why do I have you here? So I'll move on to something else. No, and I'll give you the answer soon. All right? And you may not be here then.
Oh my god, bro. Put this argument in a room with way less people and way less cameras, and Aubrey's definitely taking a knuckle sandwich to the jaw. This man I can't believe they aired this. Somehow, though, I guess, everyone in the room just kind of awkwardly walked away from this interaction, and eventually the girls dropped their second, sexier album, Welcome to the Dollhouse.
Welcome to the Dollhouse.
Throughout MTV4 Season 3, Danity Kane as a group appears to be thriving. I mean, their album went gold a month after dropping, they went on tour with Day 26 and Donnie Klang, they all went on vacation together. I mean, from where I'm sitting, they seem to be really happy and, really enjoying their time with each other as a group. So imagine my surprise when...
I'm unsure about the future of the group. Andrea, a couple of months ago, I had got an email that you were thinking about leaving the group.
There's a lot of internal things.
Okay, what's the internal things? You wanted to quit the group. That's a serious thing.
No,
so
it
I need to know
was.
why you wanted to quit the group.
I mean,
What's going on?
I was going through a lot of personal problems in my life, on top of issues with the group.
What's the issues with the group?
I mean, I don't think it's issues with us getting along. I think it's stuff outside things that are always affecting us, where I was sitting there feeling
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Diddy was on when he walked into this room, but the second this conversation began, I knew Danity Kane was over.
So at the end of the day, my thought process
so maybe
is not...
can we communicate better then?
I don't have to do that.
Okay.
That's what I want to let you know.
Okay.
You have to deal with the reality of where you're at. You're not dealing with that reality.
So just no
I'm the
communication.
chairman of Bad Boy.
I don't have to call Aubrey.
No, I don't want you to call me. I just want to communicate between Danity Kane and our label. But if there's plans to take a member and do a solo album when we're sitting here working on the group, and you want us to sit and trust that we'll just never know when you're going to make a move, that's what we have to do?
No, you don't have to.
I'm just asking.
I'm saying you don't have to. That's the beauty about America. You can leave. I don't have no shackles on you. Look, and I don't have no shackles on nobody. You can leave. If you don't like the way I do business, you can leave. The vision that I had for the group, this ain't the vision that I'm on. You know what I'm saying? I don't work these amount of years to have you talk to me this way.
I'm not meaning to.
So I don't want you in the group no more. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
All right, because I don't want to even have to have this conversation. And anybody else that want to go with her could go with her.
So that was it. I mean, just as quickly as they got started, they got stopped. After only 4 fantastic, from my end, years together, Danity Kane was no more.
Just wanted to pop in here and quickly finish contextualizing this scene before we continue. So Diddy obviously kicked Aubrey out of the group here, and he stood on business with that. Shannon tried to talk him out of it and he waved her off. Then D Woods tried to talk him out of it and he angrily kicked D out of the group as well. He tried to take that back and say he didn't mean to kick her out, but she wasn't playing with him at all. She got up and walked out and never turned back. After Aubrey eventually left as well, Diddy called Shannon, Andrea, and Dawn to his office to tell them that he still had plans to work with them as Danity Kane, but they would definitely not be bringing back Aubrey no matter what. Maybe he'd replace her, maybe not, but he told the final 3 girls that they needed to decide what they wanted to do moving forward, then he sent them on their way. They all went back to their respective homes and stayed put for the next 6 months, no one except Dawn contacting Diddy in that time.
This final season of Making the Band continued with Andrea and Dawn eventually coming back to New York after several months to meet with Diddy and wait for his decision on the group's fate, even though Aubrey was fired and Shannon and D Woods were effectively just ghosting him, but sure. Diddy basically decides to let everybody but Dawn out of their contracts with Bad Boy, and he makes sure to tell her that if he decides to put Danity Kane back together with different girls, she'll just be in that new one.
As far as for you, Dawn, I still want to make music with you. I still want you to be signed to the label. And, you know, if I decide to put that together, Danity Kane, then, you know, you'll be the only member that'll still be there.
Honestly, the whole vibe of this scene just makes me feel like I'd much rather be let out of my contract than to be kept in. 9-to-5 jobs aren't fun, but I mean, they gotta be better than working for Diddy. I mean, come on. I mean, I guess that's really just my perception, though. I mean, Dawn doesn't appear to be signed by Bad Boy Records any longer, but she did have this to say about Diddy in 2013 after releasing her second solo album independently.
Puff is still my homie. I just talked to him yesterday. He was like, I'll tweet it. I'll do whatever you need me to do.
That's real.
I'm so proud of you. And I think, you know, when you're genuine with someone and the loyalty is always there and you always be the person you say you are, you know, people will respond to that.
No hate to Dawn, of course, though. She actually still makes music, and I was listening to some of her older stuff today. Kinda slaps. I do want to mention, though, that in recent years, Aubrey has been pretty outspoken about some of the treatment that she received on the show.
I mean, I think it's just a lot harder than anyone will ever realize. And one day I'll write a book and tell everyone the truth about what I went through. But I think that it's time to do something else when it's not that anymore. Unfortunately, the business is not about that.
Aubrey has made lots of comments about Diddy and Making the Band in interviews and on podcasts throughout the years. A few notable instances, which were outlined in an article by OK Magazine earlier this year, state Puff is a very difficult person to work with, OA disclosed. Everything had to be perfect. I remember times where he looked at my toenails and was like, "What is your third toenail doing? Go get that shit fixed before you walk into a room," or we would be in rehearsals performing an hour-and-a-half set over, and he would walk in for 5 minutes with a camera and say, "Aubrey, why are you sweating? You look like a wet dog. You're the hot one. So do you think anyone wants to see that?" The singer also recounted on the Call Her Daddy podcast in 2022, "You know, I have such a love-hate with it all because I don't think I would have been able to be so successful in so many other areas had I not been trained under Diddy," she told host Alex Cooper. "He was the hardest person that you can work for, and it was torture. And not the work part of it, but the other stuff. The mind games," she continued. "There was a lot of betrayal, there was a lot of lies."
I also found this clip of a man named Gene Deal, who claims to have been one of Diddy's bodyguards. I put in no effort to verify the reality of that information, but I believe him.
I think Danity Kane. I think a couple of them didn't sign it. And boy, oh boy, they probably gonna go after him too. Cause I heard him, and I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio. And I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm gonna drug their ass off and pick them out and pip them out to my nigga. He said, I'm gonna drug them out. I'm gonna get them all on drugs and I'm gonna pimp their ass out to my nigga.
Given what Gene said, and also what Aubrey has said many times over the years, and the fact that Andrea, D. Woods, and Shannon are basically radio silent about Diddy, I don't know. I mean, that's really interesting context to add onto the situation. I mean, we saw the clips of how he spoke to them. I'm sure it was way worse off camera.
Hey, yo, check this out, baby girl. See, your attitude is gonna have you in a dark and lonely place.
I always feel thick next to these skinny chicks.
You're like a burger away.
But, I mean, we can only go off the word of these two women out of the 5 of the group. Dawn seems to feel one way, and Aubrey seems to feel the opposite. So, I mean, only time will tell what the actual truth is. In the meantime, that's Danity Kane. Well, I mean, that's the original Danity Kane. The group did briefly reunite back in 2013 with just Dawn, Aubrey, and Shannon, and then again in 2020 with just Dawn and Aubrey, but I think it's safe to say Danity Kane is only Danity Kane when the 5 of them are present. Truthfully, no matter which way we want to spin it, we do have him to thank for the creation of this group and a lot of these songs, which I will literally be listening to for the rest of my life, okay? They will have to pry the instrumental outro of the Come Over interlude out of my cold, dead hands. But that buck stops right here, okay? That is the absolute furthest I will ever go in complimenting old Mushmouth over here, because as the good book says, so brother love giveth, and so brother love most deftly taketh away. Honestly, looking back on it, I do think that no matter how you spin it, these were 5 solo girls who didn't know each other, who got thrown into a band together, and people love them. But as we've seen with other groups made in similar fashion, like One Direction and Little Mix, it can really only last for so long. I mean, torturous psychological abuse aside. You might get some good TV, maybe a few good albums out of it, maybe, you know, a couple $100 million if you're lucky, but when you're treating people like toys, eventually they're gonna break. Dawn, Aubrey, D. Woods, Shannon, Andrea. I wish you guys all the best in the world. I mean, I'm sorry for the abuse you endured, but, you know, thanks for the music. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to show some love to that subscribe button down below, and smash like if you liked. My socials will be down there as well, and follow me on TikTok, okay? I'll be posting. Diddy, if you're seeing this, buddy, you're lucky you're not rotting in a prison cell, and I hope more of your tea gets you sued. Everybody else, stay sexy, stay hating, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.